Today we're adding and subtracting mixed numbers. I want you to remember that 5 3/5 is also 5 plus 3/5. That makes things easier when I'm adding. In this case, I bring down my 5 and I add 3/5 plus 1/5. And the denominators are the same. Add the numerator. That gives me 5 4/5. Next, I want to add 5 3/5 plus 2 1/5. So I separate them. Now I use the commutative property of addition to put the numbers in an easier position for me to add. Because 5 plus 2 is 7, and 3 3/5 plus 1/5 is 4/5. Pretty simple. Next, I want to do 7 1/2 plus 3 1/2. This is where it gets tricky. I use my properties to put it where I want them. 7 plus 3 is 10. And now 1/2 plus 1/2 is 2/2, which is a whole fraction. And every whole fraction is 1. So 2/2 is equal to 1, which makes it 10 plus 1. The answer was 11. On this one, we're going to get an improper fraction. So 2 plus 3 plus 2/7 plus 6/7. So 2 plus 3 is 5. And they have the same denominator, so I add the numerators. 5 8/7. That's an improper fraction. So I go to long division to solve this. So 7 goes into 8 one time. So I have 1 1/7. So now I have 5 plus 1 1/7, which is going to give me 6 1/7. Now these don't have the same denominator, so I cannot add them. I need to make them the same. I know 2 can go into 4, so I went ahead and multiplied the numerator and denominator by 2 to get 2 2/4. Now that they have the same denominator, I can go ahead and use my commutative property of addition to make things easier for myself. And 2 plus 2 is 4. While adding the numerators, I get 3/4, right? And that's my answer. Okay, now we're going to go into subtracting. Before going into subtracting, I want you to remember, we can manipulate 5 1/3 to 4 plus 1 plus 1/3. Why would I do that? Because I want to get that 1 into a whole fraction. I turned the 1 into 3/3. Now I have 4 plus 3/3 plus 1/3, which gives me 4 4/3. I know that's improper, but we might need it in the future. On this one, the negative gets applied to the 2 and the 1/3. So now I have 5 minus 2 minus 1/3. Okay, so 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 minus 1/3. How are we going to do that? So we're going to break 3 into 2 plus 1 minus 1/3. And we take the denominator, which is 3/3. That's our whole fraction now. 2 plus 3/3 minus 1/3. And 3 minus 1 is 2, and we keep our denominator, so our answer is 2 2/3. Next, we're going to use a stacked method. So 6 4/5 minus 1 3/5. I can just subtract them straight up, because 4/5 minus 3/5 is 1/5, and 6 minus 1 is 5. On this next setup, I cannot take 1/7 from 3/7. 1/7 is just too small. So I have to do something like I showed you in the beginning. I make a whole fraction. So 4 plus 7/7 plus 1/7. And now that becomes 4/8/7. Now I could subtract more cleanly. 8/7 minus 3/7 is 5/7. And 4 minus 2 is 2. My answer, 2 5/7. Thank you for watching.